Hey, this is Spanner for the Spanner and Riggs Show. We're back in action. Riggs is back with me this week. I had a little vacation last week. It's fall season again. We got gridiron action starting this weekend. Class A, Class AA starting this weekend. But college is back, so our college segment is back. And it's back tonight. We got a little Minot State wrestling with us. We got a little Kenmare golf. And then we got the launching of the new Sports with Spanner website. Here we go. Hey, here we go. We're on the Spanner Riggs Show. Here we got a little college segment right here. We're with Austin from the mighty Minot State Beavers. You're here. This is your fourth year, but you're not a senior athletically, right? You got a little COVID year and stuff in there. Tell us what year you are, what weight class you are. Tell us that. A little bit about yourself.
Here at Minot State, and I'll be wrestling at 165. I wrestled at 2 seasons at 174. Sophomore year I started at 165, and then now I'm going back down to 165.
Was the sophomore year at 165 because of the freshman 15? Like in the dorms, you put on a lot of weight, and now you're back to normal? Or did you decide, hey, I'm going to get to a weight here where I can go the furthest in the NCAA tournament? Was it freshman year, a little packing on dorm food?
Freshman year, just comfortable weight. Sophomore year, I was really toned down and then didn't get my diet quite right. And then junior year, I was like, okay, probably not the smartest weight. And then now this summer, I had got my diet pretty good and to where I could feel comfortable being at 165 all year.
So tell us, we were talking off air, is it Clovis? Did I get that pronounced right?
Clovis, California,
Okay.
right next to Fresno.
So how on earth does a kid from Clovis, California end up in Minot? Where did, did Evan see you somewhere at, some meet, but how did you end up in Minot State?
Yeah, so Clovis, my high school is actually one of the top high schools in the country for wrestling. Clovis High has won the most California Wrestling State Championships, and it's only one division. And we host a tournament every year called the Doc B, and there's teams from New Jersey, just everywhere, all the top teams in the country, Bergen Catholic, all of them. And I made it to the blood round against a Washington State champ and lost 3-2. Luckily, even though I lost that match, one of the coaches from Minot State still came up to me and was wanted me to come out, look at the school and everything.
Cool. Really cool.
That's pretty baller. So Minot State's, I like to say it's been on a slow rise. Yeah. Since Evan got hired. They had no wins, and each year Minot State's gotten more wins under the Evan 40 regime. Tell us about this. Tell us what you guys can do this season, about this slow rise and maybe the process in which 40 runs it, explain that to us.
I would say in recent years that our record really hasn't reflected the kind of team that we are. I feel like we have continued to get better and better each and every year, and with the season, with the addition of a good freshman class and a lot of returners, I feel like we can make a big jump. And I know there's a lot of guys on the team that have the potential to go to nationals and become an All-American.
Now, is the NSIC just like every other conference in terms of wrestling, where it's the best? Is that what I get? Is it just tougher than heck?
St. Cloud wins the national championship every other year, so and. But Upper Iowa's number 3 in the country, and Northern's number 5 in the country, and Duluth's it's kind of like volleyball, I guess.
So how do you guys prepare for that? I mean, it's like you said, it's you're running through the gauntlet, on a weekly basis. It's not like you've got some pushovers to work through and then, pop out a conference and go. But what is it like to run through the gauntlet in such a tough conference?
Yeah, I'd say all in all, it makes us better though. If you make it out of that conference, that region, make it the top 3 and go to nationals, you have a really good shot at placing. So it's a love-hate kind of thing, because if you make it, you have a really good shot. You wrestle with all the top guys. So it's just good preparation.
Absolutely. Go ahead.
Well, so tell us what was your record last year, and kind of what you expect out of this year. And hey, we'll leave St. Cloud out of it. They're kind of the some mythical creature somewhere far away at this point. But like the rest of the conference, where can you guys finish?
Yeah, I feel we didn't have a bad dual record. It could have been a lot better. We were there 5-5, a lot of teams. We just need those bonus points and everything, and we'll be right there. I feel like we're really close as a team, and we could definitely make that jump. My record last season, it wasn't the best. Only wrestled a couple times, wasn't starting. Was 3-6 or 3-7, but with all the extra work that I've done and I've put in this off season, getting stronger, working on wrestling, I feel like that I've prepared myself to make that jump as well. And my goal obviously is to make it to nationals too and become an All-American.
Wow, I like that confidence. What school-wise, academically, we always like to hear, the story within the story. But what's your future goals? What are you taking in school, and do you have an idea or a plan you want to be? I mean, you're getting towards the end of your academic career as well. But what's your future goals on the academic side?
Yeah, so I'm studying to be a PE teacher and
Wow.
getting a minor in coaching. The reason for that being is just the coaches that I grew up with helped me become who I am today, the opportunities that they gave me, and that's the kind of person that I want to be towards my future, wrestlers and everything, and help them grow as well to achieve what they want to do.
Boys wrestling or girls wrestling? Which one do you want to coach? Coach both? That's a good answer.
Yeah.
Good answer. Girls wrestling is one of the fastest growing sports in America right now. I mean, everyone's starting to add it. I think girls football might be next. You never know. I always like to ask this question. Let's get a little crazy here. I don't care anything above freshman year. I wouldn't get into youth, but you ever have one of those a high single leg, you lifted someone up, your best smash moment, or maybe your best you're down by 7 points, 9 points, and the clock's running out, and you got an awesome reversal to win a big match. Tell us your highlight match of your career, high school or college, something that you just think back on it, man, that was just awesome.
Honestly, my highlight wasn't even a win. It was just wrestling in that rivalry in high school, that Buchanan-Clovis rivalry, wrestling top guys in the nation. The environment's crazy. If you were to just look up Clovis versus Buchanan duel, you'll see lights, and there are 3,000 people come, and top 10 teams in the nation. It's always just been fun to be a part of.
I've seen some of that stuff. I worked with a guy that coached at Ryan, and some of the hyping up stuff with the light. I'm like, that's cool, man. It's it gets the crowd into it too as well. There was some early times I know in Minot State, those first years where I think it was 1,600 people in the dome. It was awesome. Those are things, and hopefully that's something I think, as Spainer is alluding to, the trajectory of the wrestling program is going in the right direction, right? It's, it's not like some of the other sports. And so hopefully, another big year, and you guys can, continue to grow as like you said, you're starting to do some really good recruiting classes, and that's a big part of it as well, which, hey, that's what I want to see.
Well, I love wrestling. Everyone knows I love wrestling, and and I have an endowment which gives scholarship money to Minot State wrestling, and so I look forward to coming to, your guys' matches this year. I've been on a 3-year hiatus out coaching Division I, but I'm back now, and I look forward to just being a fan. I kind of like just being a fan there. If you lose, I can yell at you if you come over to my shop and get mad at you, as a fan, you know what I mean? Tell us that. Tell us about the community of Minot. Is there a lot of wrestling community that's really invested to the point where they're going to be frustrated if you guys don't get those bonus points and you win one more match but lose the overall match, or how vested is the wrestling community in Minot to Minot State Wrestling?
Oh yeah, definitely. There's always fans that are screaming, yelling at the top of their lungs in the matches. They always want you to do your best. They'll cheer you on, but they'll tell you, when you mess up, you just got to own up to it. Those duels are crazy.
Absolutely.
It's really interesting because it's I watch this go back and forth. So you got your major sports like basketball and football, and I always notice the coaches kind of run from accountability a little bit sometimes. Not everyone, but a little bit. They don't want to hear from the old Maynard Sandberg kind of giving it to them at a booster. They don't want to hear it. Like, who is it? Hey, you get paid the big bucks. You're the one on TV. Take the hit. And I always find that when a minor sport starts to climb the ladder a little bit, start to get better, and someone comes at them and starts giving them heat, they're like, "Whoa, what the heck is going on?" And I'll tell you a story. We won the Northern Sun in 2012, and in our first year in the Northern Sun, and then in 2013 we had like 7 freshmen starting. We just got out. We were like 1-6 to start the season. It was, an absolute. We ended up winning like 9 in a row or 9-1 to finish the season. But we started off, we just couldn't score or whatnot. But I was at a booster meeting. No, I was at a tailgate, one of the football tailgates, and a booster came up to me and said, "I hate effing losing." I was like, whoa.
Was this when you were at the beginning of the tailspin, like 1-6?
Yeah, we had just lost. I think we got swept by Upper Iowa and Winona, I think. And then so we're at a football tailgate, and the guy is giving it to me. And I remember, a couple of my sisters at the time go, "Man, who that guy think he is?" And I go, "Hey, man, do we want to be important?
Yeah.
We've created some importance, and now we've failed to meet expectations. We have to live with that, and I think that's really going to be where you guys are going to be at this year. Everyone knows that your team's primed to win this year, and I honestly do think you guys will back it up. I wrote that article on it was like about Andy Carter,
yep.
and whatnot, but about I highlighted the wrestling team because it's been built the right way, and that's why I say that slow rise. When you get that slow rise and you don't cut corners like Evan has, you build a team. And you got a guy right here that's in a top 10 team in the high school, and we're out here in the Midwest. That's the kind of guys that that St. Cloud's getting. Mm-hmm. You finally start getting those guys. Now he's in the correct weight. Probably going to have a much better record this year. Would you say that, Austin?
Yeah, definitely.
You feel good, like you're probably going to go to NCAA tournament. If a bunch of guys are feeling like that right now on the Minot State team, you go back to the article. I really feel like Minot State's ready to rock in wrestling. That's kind of why I wanted to bring you guys on. We're at the start of a new school year. Everyone out there, I think Minot State is really headed for some good times. I think Mary is as well. Mary football's primed and ready to go. I think this fall is going to be a great year for Western North Dakota sports. People should come out and watch. Austin here's a total stud. That's why we brought him on. Minot State Wrestling is going to have a big year. Riggs and I are ready for that. Thanks for coming on, bud.
Thanks, bud.
One more thing I'd like to talk about is...
we love it. Bring it on.
Go ahead. The first time we're going to be in action this year is on October 30th for our intra-squad duel. I hope to see a lot of people out there for that one. Another cool competition that we have going on this year is a tri-duel with Jamestown and Saskatchewan. And the interesting thing about that, with the new women's program that we have as well, we're going to have side-by-side duels with both the men's and women's.
Okay, explain that.
Cool.
I want you to explain that. So, side-by-side duel, does that mean there'll be 2 mats at the same time? Or will that be like guy match, girl match?
No, 2 matches going on at the same time.
Okay, so do you think that's going to take away from the environment or add to the environment?
I feel like it could add, it's all perspective, there'd be people cheering on the women's team.
And I'm not talking like, the women are less important or the men are, I'm just wondering.
At the same time, you're trying to watch what's going on.
Yeah, is it going to, or where too many people watch one side or, it kind of be like nice to see them all at the same time, but maybe you're right. I'll go with an open mind to that. Now explain a tri-duel to me. Let's just go with one gender. How this competition would go. Is it by lot, or do you wrestle twice against both guys in your weight and they're scoring everything together? Or is it is it Minot versus Saskatchewan and Minot versus Jamestown and Jamestown versus Saskatchewan?
Yep, that you explained it right there. Minot versus Jamestown. Jamestown. It's just dual scores at that point. You know?
So now there's going to be an advantage and disadvantage in this, right? So
don't they wrestle different? Don't Canadians wrestle a little different too?
I think when they come over the border, they go to our. Somehow they leave the metric system and they come into the English system. But so they'll be going on pounds.
They go kilograms.
No, but I do have a question here. Okay, so let's say that Wade, me, and you were all in the same weight. Okay, he's Saskatchewan, of course, right? So
that's where I'm from, by the way. Just
I'll be the Jamestown guy. You be the Minot guy. Does Minot wrestle Jamestown first and then Jamestown? Is it the same order or is it flipped by weight? Because obviously, if you're first and third, you have an advantage over the person who's first and second and third because they would be back to back. Is that changed from weight to weight? Because that's really going to swing the scores, I would imagine.
So there'll be like breaks, like short breaks in between the duels. I'm assuming, but it should be like. It would be one team versus one, and then the other team's going to be sitting out, and they're waiting, and then it's just like a break.
Okay.
Well, I think that's something that we got to go look at.
Absolutely.
This sounds really interesting to me. I'm glad you brought it up, and hopefully we generate a few more fans for you. You know, that will be good.
That'll be awesome.
I think that's going to be kind of interesting.
That is cool. Great to see those. I mean, coming down. Is it the University of Saskatchewan, or is it like University of Regina, which is in Saskatchewan?
I'm pretty sure it's the University of Saskatchewan.
Okay, cool. Yeah, no.
That's a big-time university.
It is.
Right?
It is.
It's the size of like a major.
Yeah, it's about
Division
20, 25, 26,000 students. But they've had women's wrestling up there for a long time in Canada. So, are they bringing their girls too?
Yep.
Right on.
And,
so there's going to be 6 teams there, correct?
Yep.
That's really cool. And when is that date?
November 19th.
Oh, right on. That's cool.
I like that. I like that. This is going to be good. It's going to be good.
Well, there's probably 500 Canadians that go to Minot State. So they're going to be loyal.
There'll be a couple. There'll be a couple national anthems going that day.
Yeah. God save the Queen.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. It's like the World Cup qualifiers. Mexico comes up. They're playing in LA Galaxy Stadium. Do the Mexican Americans root for the tricolors, or do they root for red, white, and blue? That's always an interesting, decision for them to make. So we got November 19th, and we fully anticipate you going 2-0 that day.
Yeah.
I like that.
We'll see.
Thanks for coming on. Boom.
Thank you.
Hey, this is Spainer. We're here on the high school segment for the Spainer Rig Show, and we've got some interesting interviews coming up. A little Kenmare golf, but I also got a little announcement. We are launching the Sports with Spainer website starting next week. You guys got to go to that. We'll have previews for every conference in every region, and we'll be doing that weekly. We're going to start off right now. We'll give you a little teaser right now. We're going to go a little WDA boys soccer right now. And upcoming week, right now, we got Century, Bismarck. They're both 2-0. They're in first place by themselves. But we have some big games. Tuesday night, Minot at Bismarck. That's the game of the week right there. Defending champions Minot, 1-1, in danger of falling out of playoff contention with a loss at Bismarck. And we got Bismarck undefeated. We have Century playing Mandan on Tuesday night as well. Mandan 1-1, trying to get into that playoff grouping against Century, who's already clipped Minot this year. It's a big week. We also have Dickinson at Jamestown. Must win for Dickinson. They're sitting at 0-2. Jamestown 1-1, cannot afford to lose this game. If they do, they're going to be on the outside looking in. We got Legacy at Williston. Legacy's a huge favorite here. They're 1-1. A win here is going to put them 2-1, and they're going to have an inside track to a playoff position as the season rolls on. On Thursday, Legacy at Dickinson. Legacy's got a nice, easy week here. They got to get 6 points this week. Got to get 6 points, or they're going to fade out. Jamestown at Century. This is a big game for Jamestown. My guess is Century's going to edge Jamestown's going to be hurting here after their loss to Minot last week. We also have Bismarck at Mandan. So Bismarck has a massive week if they're looking to serve for the WDA title. Minot and Mandan both fighting for playoff positions. And then we have Williston at Minot High. Minot High should handle this very easily. Minot has Braden Oswalt, one of the top players in the state. He should be enough to help Minot get through that. Caden Gibbons as well. It'll be interesting to see what happens. My rundown real quick. I've got Bismarck 2-1 over Minot. Century 2-1 over Mandan. Jamestown 3-0 over Dickinson. Legacy 4-0 over Williston. I got Legacy 2-0 over Dickinson. Jamestown 0-1. Century defeats Jamestown. I'll go Bismarck 3-0 over Mandan, and I will go Minot 5-0 over Williston. That's my predictions for the WDA week ahead. Boom. Here we are, Sports with Spainer, and we're doing a little WDA Eastern Conference preview of 11 AA football opening weekend. This is going to be a great weekend. We got a nice Civil War going. We got one WDA battle and then a bunch of crossover games. We got Legacy at West Fargo Cheyenne, massive game. Fargo Davies at Mandan, massive game. Mandan with big Max Carlson coming back, all-state quarterback with his top target. I'm going to read this the whole thing. Carson Jablonski? Is that how you say that? I can't read it.
On whose team, sorry?
Mandan.
Carson. Yeah.
Carson Jablonski. Lincoln Wiseman. Okay. I got Terror Frank. Tari Frank.
I would go
Tari Frank. Okay, let's go. Here we are, Sports with Spainer, 11 AA preview for opening weekend of gridiron action in North Dakota. We got a great set of games, a little East-West crossover battles here, little Civil War in North Dakota, one all-WDA matchup. This should be a great weekend. Legacy at West Fargo Cheyenne, amazing game. Kiefer Glenn gone for Legacy, and so are their chances against West Fargo Cheyenne. Cheyenne will win that game. Fargo Davies at Mandan. Mandan has their triplets back. Little Max Carlson and Jablonski at wide receiver is top target. And we got Lincoln Wiseman running the rock there. I got Mandan upsetting Fargo Davies. We got Fargo Shanley at Bismarck. Gonna be a great game there. Fargo Shanley might be out of their league here. Bismarck returning a couple stud players, Jacob Burkhart. We're going to go Bismarck by 3 points over Shanley. Fargo South at Williston. Fargo South wins going away. Century at West Fargo. Century losing ton of players here from last year. A ton of seniors, all region. We're going West Fargo by double digits. St. Mary's at Minot High, game of the week. Minot High double A last year. St. Mary's in the state championship for single A. This is going to be an amazing game. St. Mary's losing players here. Schumacher, Felchi, Federchuk. Welcome, Windsor, the Powerade Player of the Year. Sefner and Landon Gerving, they lost a ton of players. Minot has Turnbow, and they're going to turn St. Mary's out. Send them home. I got Minot by 4 points over St. Mary's in the opening weekend. This is going to be a great weekend of football. Boom. Here we go, little Eastern Conference, Eastern Dakota Conference boys soccer. And this conference is loaded. They've swept the West year after year after year. It'll be interesting this year to see if the West can get a game. Could it be Century? Could it be Bismarck to finally clip someone at state? But here we go. let's talk a little Eastern Conference this weekend. Grand Forks Central at West Fargo Cheyenne. We got West Fargo High at Grand Forks Red River. South at Shanley. Davies at North. Red River at South. Fargo North at West Fargo High. Cheyenne at Fargo Davies on Thursday night. And Shanley at Grand Forks Central. What do we got? It's going to be interesting week. Grand Forks Central got a nice little start to their season. And now they got a little West Fargo Cheyenne. I think West Fargo Cheyenne gets a 1-goal victory here. This will be really interesting here. Grand Forks Central playing a little bit better than last year, even after losing Owen Fields. But we'll see what happens. West Fargo Cheyenne lose a lot, but they do got Reese Breidenbach back. So I like what they've got going on. Grand Forks Red River versus West Fargo. Should be interesting. Gonna go West Fargo here. Going West Fargo by a goal. Maybe a draw in that game. Fargo South at Shanley. Shanley had an inauspicious start, being in the state championship the last couple years. But I got Shanley winning this game by 2 goals. Davies running over North. Davies is loaded right now. Esteban Nunez and Patrick Lawrence coming back, both all-state. On Thursday night, Red River at South. I got a draw going there. Fargo North at West Fargo High. Going West Fargo High by a goal. West Fargo Cheyenne at Fargo Davies. Big game. Does Cheyenne have enough? They've lost a lot with Sipe and Mohammed leaving. I got Davies by 2 goals. Shanley at Grand Forks Central. Shanley wins by 3. And that is your Eastern Conference predictions for the week. It'll be interesting to see. We'll talk a little more in depth next week. Some of the players. Maybe we'll have some of the teams on the show with Sports with Spainer. Boom. This is Spainer. We're here continuing our high school segment today. And we've got Kenmare Golf today. And, we want to talk all the sports here. We're going to bring Kenmare on. Now, Kenmare, you guys are kind of a powerhouse out there in your region. You guys are like, you got your girls basketball got upset. They were undefeated, I think, going into the regional championship game. I've had a really good run in a lot of sports. Your football team just pulled off a major upset, and some would say upset. Out there in Kenmare, they might say it was expected, right? Over Bowman, 20-18 on Friday night. What a big game! Yeah, Bowman was in the state semifinals. We talked.
We talked to those boys. No way.
So that was a really cool thing.
Was it in Kenmare or down in Bowman?
It was in Kenmare. A little home field advantage, I think. Were you guys at that game?
Probably not.
I think they had a tournament that day. Oh. Because your coach texted me a picture of you guys with your medals. So now let's talk girls golf here. You guys took second in your tournament. Who is your competition? And also maybe tell us which one's McKenna, which one's Rylee. Go ahead.
Okay. I'm McKenna. I'm Rylee. And our biggest competition as a team is probably DLB. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
The DLB is good at everything, aren't they?
Absolutely. Now, we had golf switch from the spring to the fall. How has that been? I guess you guys aren't into high school now, but again, I'm assuming you could talk to your teammates. But has that adjustment been a challenge? And we talked off the air about potentially, closing some sports. Maybe some girls play like volleyball or something, or soccer or whatever it is, and everything's all over the place. But has that been a challenge for your squad, or has everybody just seamlessly been able to adjust to playing in the fall?
Well, most of our girls on our team, except for us two, play volleyball, so they're dueling sports. And last year, me and Rylee dueled sports last year with volleyball and golf, and it was really hard.
So not this year.
Yeah. No, not this year. We're not playing.
So Kenmare, you guys are Class B. A lot of Class B kids tend to play 176 sports, right?
Yep.
As you guys just alluded to. So and they need to. That's one of the things about Class B. Everyone's got to gear up and help each other out and fill in, and for everyone's sports so they can succeed. Do you guys play other sports?
I play basketball and softball. And then I do track and basketball.
Yeah, I talked to you in track, didn't I?
Yeah.
I like that. The aviator, correct?
Yeah.
Jeez, that's cool. But I've golfed at the country club there in Kenmare quite a few times, few tournaments. I alluded to for our listeners as
little
a
Minot
Canadian
State Friends Tour.
Yeah, Friends
Get
Tour.
yourself a little steak there
It's big.
at that tournament. It's a good steak, right? Good steak.
It always seems to be windy as heck up on the hill there as it comes in there. But what's it like to golf there? Do you guys get to get treated like royalty there? Like, is it something where you get an automatic membership and you get to golf as many times as you want, or how does that dynamic work at that golf course?
So if you're on the golf team, boy or girl, you get a free membership, so you can golf whenever you want.
Your parents get the membership with you so they can go out and help you, or no?
No.
What about your friendly neighborhood sportscasters? They get to go golfing with you? No? Darn. That's a nice course you guys got out there. Is that why you guys are so good? That's a nice course you guys have out there. Did we freeze there for a second?
We shouldn't have.
There you go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a little bit. Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, that's a nice course you guys have out there. Is that why you guys are so good?
Yes. For sure.
Now, is there sort of for the listeners that haven't, obviously we're trying to paint a picture there, but is it hole number 9 right around the parking lot, and then there's the cart shed basically to the east there? Is there a record for how many times somebody's hit that shed or whatever, that garage barn? Because my foursome that I was with, I think 3 guys hit that thing. It was just tunk, tunk, tunk off the roof. So is there a thing? Because I swear to God, everybody hits that thing in your groups. Someone has to.
I don't know. If there was an award, I feel like I'd win it.
I like that.
Alright.
Okay, so let's get down to business, okay? When is regionals, and where is regionals located?
Regionals is in Mohall, and I'm pretty sure it's on the 16th of September.
Okay,
That's what, 3 weeks away. Holy cow.
that's not that far, huh?
No.
So state. Oh, it's because of North Dakota goes white come September 30th, right?
Yeah.
Where do you guys expect to be come regionals? What place do you guys expect to get? And who's carrying who's carrying the team a little bit right now?
Probably second or third.
First, second, or third, honestly.
I
Depends
like
how
that. The second answer better. I mean, we at least have a chance to win here, right?
No.
Yeah.
So you're saying there's a chance, right?
We've gotten really close to DLB's score, so I feel like if we all had a really good day at golf, we could possibly beat them. So, yeah.
So yeah.
I like it. Well, it depends. Like you said, North Dakota, once you roll into September, the weather can change. I mean, there could be a lot more moisture, which makes the green softer, or it could be a little bit more windier, in terms of that stuff. And so that could play into anybody's favor, just like, your beloved Cowboys, once they get out of that beautiful weather down in Texas and they come up to the Northeast and, it's snowing 6 inches, then they get a little soft. So, I mean,
Soft enough to go 6-0 in the division last year, right? Undefeated in the division.
Oh, my goodness.
I like that. So let's move to your other sports, guys. Tell us, Kenmare girls basketball. What's the outlook? What'd you lose? Who's returning? And are we going to see it state?
Well, we have Kate Zimmer back, so she's all healed up.
Yeah, that was a rough one last year. I think you guys were a lock to go to state. Probably could have got a game there. I don't think you'd have enough to beat Kindred or Grafton, but I think they could have been a semifinal team. So, how about the Aviator? How are you going to do in track next year? Are we looking at a state meet appearance?
Oh yeah, she's gonna win some.
She's going to win some. I like that. She's like a Skywalker there. So, stickball there. Tell me how Kenmare is going to do in softball. Can you get over old Renville County or what?
Yeah. So I think we're gonna place first in regions, go to state again, take fourth or better, just like last year and the year before.
Wow. So
She's pretty specific.
I know. And she's like, she knows exactly, it's not like, well, I like the confidence, just get right to the
We're
point.
going to win region. We're going to take state. We're going to go state. We're going to finish fourth or better.
Yeah. we've done probably, this is what, our 50th interview, and probably the things we've done here for the last few months, and we always get the cookie cutter answers, so we like those ones specifically.
These guys are pretty articulate. They're going to be like President of the United States by the time they're 16.
For sure. So going back to golf, as you guys are right in the thick of things, what does your guys' schedule look like? How does this come? Or do you right after school you head to the course and then you golf, and then how many girls are on the team? And I'm assuming, do they do some sort of like like the day before a tournament? Do you guys golf and then it's like the top 5 or the top 10, or how does it work for your practice schedules leading into going into a tournament?
We have 6 people on our team.
So we don't really have to compete with each other to see who's going to be on the main team. We can just all be on one team.
And if one of us is having a bad day, like Becky, our coach, could switch us, I guess. Like say I'm the number 1, Riley's the number 2. I have a bad day. She just flip-flop us, I guess. But usually it stays the same.
Cool. And just to kind of go with it, I mean, you guys golf. I mean, my little girl likes to hit some balls. At what age did you guys start golfing?
I started at 4.
Wow.
11, I'd say. Just around
4 or 5.
Cool. That's cool. That's another one of those sports. Golf's kind of like hockey a little bit. You gotta get after it, young. Otherwise, it's tough. I mean, we don't want to see Spainer put on some skates here or something like that. I mean, anybody can kick a soccer ball. That's the easiest thing, probably easiest sport to do, right? So
I would say Spainer put on some skates this winter.
Yeah.
There may or may not be video evidence of that, but
good.
all right,
Okay.
dudes. Thanks for coming on, and we always love talking to some kids from Kenmare. Kenmare's got a little community pride there. Kids like wearing that Kenmare jersey and battling for their community.
My last question, is it honkers across the board? Is it all the sports, or do you guys have different names for the guys and the girls teams?
Honkers.
Oh, yeah.
That's like a big goose or something, right?
Yeah.
What country do those geese come from? What is the name? What do they call those things?
I don't know. Probably
Canadian geese.
Soft geese. Thing.
Oh yeah, Canadian geese, honkers. So,
all right, dudes.
Thanks
a lot.
guys. Appreciate it.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Another great episode here on the Spainer Riggs podcast. Boy, we're going to take a deep dive. It's exciting time of the year. Fall sports has arrived. You're always going to be catching Spainer all over the state, doing different things with TikTok. We're excited because now we've got athletes from the college level back here in the Magic City and all over the state. Make sure you stay tuned to all of our episodes. We're going to have some great insight on different sports across the board. Make sure to follow us on all the major social media platforms. This is another great episode on the Spainer Riggs podcast, brought to you by the Dakota Inn.